let's have another talk. There's a few questions I've been kind of keeping from. Was how to. One of them is how do you have sex? And one I ain't gonna tell you. There's books in the library that tell you how to. Not necessarily correctly, but it tells you how to. The other one is jokes played on people. People play jokes every day, so and sometimes even unseen. So that's pretty easy to uh, do and never get any police report about it. So I know people that are welfare employees, lawyers, secretaries of lawyers, um, who have porno sites online. So judges, Senate representative, Congress, Trump even, who have online porno sites, and some of them have websites that technically are illegal. They are illegal and whatnot. So, how is the president of the United States has an illegal porn site? So, that's the interesting part. I mean, Melina, that was not before your time, considering you were trying to get funded. But anyway, yeah, the older one, uh, and whatnot. So that's the funny part. And I, I have that conversation written down too. So they're only hanging on my file. Let alone the Kremlin, the KGB has that whole conversation written down. Just sent to them. So, yeah, you get a really interesting read on that one when it's. Oh my God, he said he's sponsoring Melina. I think it's Melina, the younger one, isn't by her, so. And definitely not by Trump. But when it comes down to it, it's always interesting and whatnot how a lot of this came about in 1980. So was saying that and whatnot is kind of the interesting and funny question is why I don't talk about those subjects. They're mainly referring to SEX, so it's pretty simple. I've seen people, heard people just maliciously make up stuff about people of different things. And one of them is when you get to certain websites, is child molestation. Where I noticed 1910 to 1987 has been erased. Their online legal files, not talking about the SSI, SSN, but talking about what they've done, aren't there. But it is. So I just had to move to another server. So, with that said, even the DOS criminal files, trust me, as soon as you typed it in, it went all over the place. So, when you hit delete here, it only deletes on the computer. If it's directed to the server, it'll delete off the server. But not at all. That's only the U.S. server, and they're a little bit harder to get in another country when the U.S. asks for those files. They're not legally allowed to have them because they'll try to delete them, let alone all the other accusations and complaints and proof of the packet which was sent to them. To why judges, and when you send stuff to the Court of Common Pleas, they're smiling like you shouldn't be sending that here with the crap you got on your criminal list. Judge. Let alone half the jury. So that's the funny part. I think the Supreme Court's like the most boring court out there has more dust than anything. But for anything to be heard by the Supreme Court, need to have every one of an example reference to this being said, everything proven, an investigation done thoroughly by the time and dates required, or they won't even look at it. So if you send a kid's high school flight, they're not going to look at that. You're wasting their time. That's an easy answer. You have the wrong books, it's your problem. That's a criminal conviction against the judge, or the jury and the judge. If you have a counsel for the judge by a secondary or even a first process of having a counsel, which is illegal. Pretty easy answer. So, if you're listening to a counsel, which a jury can be considered a counsel, you can easily get in trouble. So much trouble that a jury is often people who sit there who have knowledge of real world, in a sense, rules and regulations. They know the law. They instruct the judge to shut up. They instruct lawyers not to. It's a slightly slow process, but it doesn't take very long for some. And normally a jury, if you look back in history, is normally the ones that hang, use a guillotine, a firing squad, recently electrocution, or the other method, which isn't starvation. And a lot of you are going to be like, what's the other one? They call it flattening. And that's the new one in such of certain books. Well, you go walking down the street, all of a sudden you get ran over by a bus, a car, a guy shoots you, gang or no gang, etc. And that's the one that is really kind of disturbing, because certain people here have tried that, and they turn around and they're like, why are you sticking up for that criminal? Well, one, the word for criminal coming out of your mouth is what you just did. A criminal action by non-acting in the sense of actor. As far as what I did, flattening is not legal. If you're going to hang someone who murdered someone, then you need to choose that one as electrocution, guillotine. Firing squad may have been things that they wanted done because they know where this is all going. Maybe they did a criminal action which can't be held against them once dead. Otherwise, you give them such, how should I say, when you do that, you give them so many rules and regulations and laws to where those laws, because you attacked them, can no longer be used. Now, hanging's a bit different if done correctly, and someone who really is technically needs to have something done to them to rid them of the planet. But I'll warn you of that even is the Constitution of the United States is for what? The government. Therefore, implying it against the people would be a very stupid idea. Otherwise, then you take a common bum or a person at shelter, or you take the cashier who just cashed you out and by that person. Now, if you ever looked at witchcraft, occult, Satanism, there's one certain thing they require to get or to be able to do something to you. Starts with an A, and if you fill in the other things, it's ATHRTY. You do that by stupidity, and it don't matter if you're a judge, don't matter if you're a cop, don't matter if you're the police. Now, here's something that's so interesting about all these cults, and it's not really religion because religion's not a word. These things that could happen. Do nothing and get results. Do something and get no results. Anyway, that's what I'm going to say tonight. So that tells you a little bit about vengeance and even that of other things and how useless they are. Have a good night.